Hello everyone, we are back, and we are here with a review of Rhapsody Marl Kingdom Chronicles. This is a package that comes with two games, Rhapsody 2 Ballad of the Little Princess and Rhapsody 3 Memories of Marl Kingdom. Now, these two games were never officially released in North America. You could have played them, I think, via fan translations before, but they were never available in official capacity until now. So, you get its sequel. You get the sequel, which is a follow-up to the original Rhapsody, which came out on PlayStation 1, but is also available separately on PC and available for the Switch. So we're going to talk about both of them as a package here, and then go into a few more things about it afterwards. But we'll start off with at least Rhapsody 2, Ballad of the Little Princess. Now, this game originally came out for the PlayStation 1, and is, as I said, a sequel to the original Rhapsody. It takes place 12 years after the original game, where you play as Kururu, again, the little princess, who's off to go find her magical prince, just like her parents. Now, I'll say Rhapsody 2 was a surprise for me because, again, this is my first time playing any Rhapsody game, and I was very pleasantly surprised with it. Its story starts off just kind of meh, spoiled little princess and whatever, but as the game went on, you started to see Kururu evolve as a character, and the story evolve into like this grandiose adventure, where it's just the basic idea of like her trying to find her prince, and then also like an evil witch trying to obtain eternal youth. But there's a little bit more going on to it. I did like it. It was a very pleasant surprise, and it was good to see the adventure through to the end. And it wasn't a particularly long adventure here, at least for me. When playing through it, it took about 12 hours or something. Like, I know some will scoff like that's so short, but then again, this is a PS1 game, and you know, some of them weren't like overly long adventures to say your Final Fantasies or your Dragon Quests. I don't mind short adventures if it's a concise package, like concise, and it knows what to do and it does it well. And for the most part, at least what it does well. In terms of, like I told you, of story, I enjoyed it, but it's also the other things that happen along the way. Because Kururu is obviously not alone in her adventure. She is joined by her best friend, Kreia, and the mysterious boy named Cello. Now, when I first thought of that, I'm like, wait, musical instrument? There must be a connection here. But then again, this is a musical adventure, and one thing this game does during its story at points is that it breaks into musical numbers, and they're nice little distractions. I thought they were funny, and also kind of catchy, and work within, again, the confines of what the game is doing. So it makes for a good breaking of pace, but also expanding upon the story as well, making you feel more involved and making it feel more like a fantastical adventure. But in terms of how it plays, the way it plays is kind of interesting. It's like your traditional JRPG. You have a party of up to 5 people, but you'll mostly see that like around the end or something in the game. But it's both, like I said, Kururu and Kreia, who are real interesting when you play them in the game, because you will get things called puppets, which almost are like Pokemon, where you'll battle enemies in the world, and you can get them, and they will eventually join your team at some point. It's kind of random what happens when you get them, but you can eventually get them to join your team. You get them to level up, they level up with their abilities and their stats as well. But the interesting thing also when it comes to the puppets is when you equip them, they will affect your stats, whether it be your health, your attack power, your defense, your intelligence, or your speed. So it's not just like, okay, pick this puppet, put it with this character just because it has its cool abilities. There's also stats to think about with them as well, and how you want to try and, you know, have them play off of each other. The one thing that was interesting, though, when it comes to attacks, besides your standard attacks, you do have specials which take off some of your character's hit points, but it's the puppets that make things interesting, because at least in Rhapsody 2, to use their magic powers, it requires money, or something called inotium. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But yeah, it requires money to use their powers, which is very interesting. So when playing this, I just didn't really buy a lot of accessories or spend a lot of it at shops. I just wanted to save money and use it for these puppets' abilities, and you will get quite a bit of money as you play this. So I don't think you'll ever have a problem with it unless you foolishly spend it, but I thought that was an interesting idea. Like, it's not tied to like a magic points or anything like that. It's all tied to money. But if you do use their magic, you also fill a little musical bar in it, and what that does is you can use rewards, and let's just say they're pretty sweet. And I mean that in the literal sense. I mean, you want to drop pancakes? Go ahead. You want to use strawberry shortcake? Go ahead. I thought those were hilarious to watch, and had a nice, like, breakup with the combat. But no, like, there's options with it. I thought it was cool. Using the rewards, and then the puppet idea of, like, using money for their abilities. It adds an interesting layer to it. But the one issue I do have when it comes to using the puppets is that you do collect a lot of them, but you don't really need to use all of them. You can only equip up to, I believe, 3 maximum, and I rarely switch it up. If I did, it was just for trying something different, but majority of my playthrough was I only stuck with 3 of them, and that's it. So you do have variety, but it's not really necessary, and it's also, most battles are easy in this game. That's one issue. Like, I played on normal difficulty, and I found it relatively easy. It didn't really pick up until around the end of the game, then it starts to kind of put up a fight. But it's a small thing. It's a small issue. It's nothing game breaking, but I feel like you could easily break the game too if you just level up like mad with your puppets and with the characters too. Just get them to high levels, and it's just, you could just destroy anything in the field. But I mean, other than that, it was just a gripe with stuff. I enjoyed it. Rhapsody 2 again was a fantastic game. It's not very long either, but I enjoyed it. I would definitely want to play it again. Now, Rhapsody 3, on the other hand, is a different game, in a sense. So, Rhapsody 3, Memories of Marl Kingdom, it's basically... It doesn't have the same structure as Rhapsody 2, where it's just a story. One story from beginning to end. In this one, the game's broken up into 6 chapters, each kind of focusing on different things throughout, like the previous games, kind of expanding upon things or acting as, say, an epilogue of sorts, which I thought it was interesting that they went with this approach for the game, so it actually flushed out the world more, and it's definitely a pleasant surprise also in terms of gameplay, because the gameplay, it's still a traditional RPG, but it's a different thing to it, because it's not just, let's say you can have up to a party of 5, but only two can use multiple puppets in Rhapsody 2. In Rhapsody 3, it's kind of line-based in a sense, where you can have up to 4 lines, and you can equip, and you can have multiple characters on those lines. I think it was somewhere along the lines of like 12, I believe, that you can combine characters. And it's not just limited to puppets. Like, the way the structure works is that you'll have human character, you'll have your, main characters at least at the front, and then you can put behind them, say, puppets or monsters. And just like in Rhapsody 2, it affects stats as well, and abilities. But the thing is, when it comes to how the combat works, is that it doesn't require money now to use magic. Each character, or each, person you have, has their own kind of magic points. But when it comes to issuing orders, you only issue them to the person at the front of the row. Or at the front of the line, sorry. And then everyone else does random, so... I mean, I think it would have been neat if you could have just individually done everything, but I guess that would be too much micromanagement. But yeah, no, the gameplay is kind of the same, but it's also not the same when it comes to how Rhapsody 3 works. So it's an interesting change of pace. It just kind of expands the field. I just kind of wish you could have control of the other people on the team instead of just the ones in the front. Because the other thing also with it too is, like, if you wanted to select one of the other ones in the row, you could do that, but then you can't really control who's in what the front person does. It only controls for the one for each, which I think is kind of dumb, personally. And there is a sense of, like, random luck or chance when it comes to that. You also still have the reward stuff, just like you did in Rhapsody 2, and seeing them in 3D is actually kind of cool. But, I mean, overall, like... there's not much to say, at least with Rhapsody 3. As I said, its structure is different with the 6th chapter. With the 6 chapters kind of just filling in gaps. There are some that I found were better than others, but it did seem like a relatively good bookend to this set of games with it. Now, like I said, I haven't played the original Rhapsody, but after, playing through these, I do want to play the first one. I want to see what it's about and see, like, the beginning of everything with it. But I did say there was something interesting with this package, and that is in terms of its release. So, as I said, it's called Rhapsody Marl Kingdom Chronicles, at least on Switch and PlayStation 5. You get both the games in one package. However, this game's also available for PC, and in that case, you buy them separately. So you buy Rhapsody 2 separately, and you buy Rhapsody 3 separately. So that's kind of a different thing when it comes to that. But I mean, both games are good. Personal opinion, I like Rhapsody 2 a lot more. That would probably be my pick if you're going to only play one of these. But I would at least suggest going through Rhapsody 3 and seeing the epilogue and playing at least the 2nd chapter, I believe it was, because that at least is an epilogue to Kururu's adventure from Rhapsody 2. But I would say, at least with these, like, they're both, the other things they share in common is, like, the music itself. Like, I thought it was interesting, and again, the musical numbers, Rhapsody 3 also has the musical numbers as well. They're fun. I enjoyed them. There is one odd thing, though, when it comes to the music in it, and that is, it's all in Japanese, but it is English subtitled. The one thing with this package is that it comes with English voice acting, but also the original Japanese voice acting. So I did personally find it a little jarring if you're playing it with English VA or VO, and then you go into the musical number here, it's Japanese. I honestly would have loved to see it done, the musical numbers in English, but I don't know if that would be hard to record or anything like that. I thought that would have been nice to have, but they kept it authentic. I have no problems with that, so good job with that. But also presentation-wise, these games are a little bit different. They're both sprite-based with their characters, and I think the sprites are good. The sprites are colorful. They are actually pretty well animated, for obvious reasons, for some of them. But no, I like the sprite work, and the special effects I think are cool, especially when you use the rewards. For instance, I think the rewards actually look cool. But Rhapsody 2 is pure 2D, whereas Rhapsody 3, it's 2D sprites, but 3D backgrounds. And the 3D backgrounds are a little plain, you could say. It's not the most detailed, but it is a little jarring seeing 2D sprites on 3D backgrounds, but then again, We've seen stuff like this recently with, say, the HD2D engine that you're seeing in Octopath Traveler or Live Alive, or even something kind of in the new Star Ocean remake of the second game coming out. So it seems a little jarring at first, but it adds an interesting visual flair to it. I do wish the backgrounds, though, were a little more, I guess, lively or detailed coming off of Rhapsody 2. However, with Rhapsody 2, some of the backgrounds do repeat, just to extend for the environments and stuff, so you're going to see quite a few on repeat when it comes to that, so just keep that in mind. But, I mean, visually, the game looks good. I had no problems with it. The game ran fine. I mean, I was playing the PS5 version here for this, and no, I had no problems with it, so... overall, I would say, like, I enjoyed these. I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. Rhapsody 2 definitely, for me, is the standout of this, and as I said earlier in the video, it's my personal favorite of these two. If you pick this up and you're only going to be playing one of them, Rhapsody 2 is the one to play for sure. But if you played Rhapsody 1, then you'll want to go through at least 3, see more of like the world and stuff. Like, actually, Rhapsody 2 does touch on some of those things, so it is at least worth playing through Rhapsody 3 at that point. But overall, as I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun. And it's also good if you're especially not looking for like very long RPGs. As I said, Rhapsody 2 took me about 12, 3 about the same, 3 maybe about the same, a little bit longer, but I enjoyed them. They're short experiences, but they're fun experiences. Considering we're getting like long RPGs, if you just want something short, concise, and fun, this is it. Pick it up. I think you'll have fun with it if you're looking for something a little bit different, a little more vibrant, and with a touch of sweetness and music. With that said, I want to give a shout out to NIS for providing me a review copy of this. Thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate the opportunity and for you taking a chance on me with this. With that, I thank all of you for watching as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also leave your feedback. Have you played Rhapsody 1 or are planning on picking these up? I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Your feedback means a lot and your support means a lot. Thank you so much for everything. So until next time, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.